Welcome back.
We back.
The last time we hung out, we were in France. We were in Paris, and we watched the men's final. The men's basketball team win the gold medal.
You were special out there.
Yeah, I was.
You were a good fan. You was a.
Was I?
You was the ultimate fan, though.
Look at us. Look at us together. Two studs. Two studs going. Was I cheering too loud? Was I all right?
Nah, I didn't really realize and recognize that how into the game you be. Like, you're a fan. You're a fan.
Yeah, Steph Curry was looking at me I had my phone out.
What you do with that video?
I posted on TikTok. You know what I did? I was like, dude, I want to get a good TikTok thing. I go, I'll be fun. I didn't want to be one of those.
Did you know he was pointing at you?
Never.
Oh.
I didn't think he even was going to look at me the whole game, but I was next to you. So you were talking to everybody in the whole team. You were yelling at everybody like, I'm not going to make it up, but you're like, send a pic. But you wouldn't yell that. What were you yelling? What were you yelling? Like
It was just called scouting.
just call scouting.
Simple scouting.
Scouting. You're like, dude, go over there.
It wasn't that difficult.
No, but
It wasn't that difficult.
I will tell you, though, the one thing, I loved it because it was, like, great. And at the end, when they finally won, they won the gold medal, USA. I was like, oh, my God. One at a time, every single person came over and hugged you. LeBron came over, hugged you. Steph came over, hugged you. And what'd you didn't tell me what you said to LeBron.
I still can't, but it was...
You still
No,
can't.
you know what it was? It was just that point in time where, you know, you in another country, you're playing against another country on another country home court in the home territory. So when you look on the sideline and you see some familiarity over there,
yeah.
Somebody who's been through the trenches with you guys, somebody who's won gold medals with you guys, who really understand the landscape of what's happening in these last 2-3 minutes of a gold medal game.
They appreciate
that's the approach that you get, and also it's a level of respect that's right there.
Yeah, you've known LeBron since high school. This is a picture of you and LeBron playing against each other, 2002. Now
Flying.
Yeah. This
Flying.
Flying by, right? But what do you remember about this photo? Or remember about the first time you met him? About this game?
So the game was I think if I remember correctly, that was one of the first high school games, basketball, that was actually televised, ESPN. I want to say that. So it was a lot riding on that game.
Did you know of him, or did you know him?
I knew of him. I've never met him. I've seen him before, like USA camp and out there in Colorado Springs. But that night before the game was just something where it was just a synergy there. Like, he was coming in and he was going into the hotel.
Two legends, and he
coming into the hotel.
He knew who you were too.
Yeah, but it was a moment where we actually we stopped and we thought about, like, we're two young black males about to go play on Sports Center, sitting in the hotel. You from Ohio, I'm from Baltimore. Like, we don't even know what's happening over here.
Yeah.
But we get to go out there and we get to go compete. So the same thing I told him in the Olympics in that gold medal game. Let's give them what they came to see.
Yeah, exactly, bud. And now even cooler, you became Carmelo Anthony. But now even cooler, his son Bronny and your son Kiyan.
Yeah, shout out to Bronny.
Yeah, they're playing against each other. This is 2 years ago. What's it like to watch this happen, the next generation?
It's tough.
It is, right? It is, right?
It's tough in a sense because it's like I'm watching it. I'm seeing it all over again from my son. Like, I'm seeing this all over again. And the way that people was probably looking at me when I was coming up in high school, I get a chance to look at my son in this situation the same way. So maybe they looked at me a lot different than I look at my son today.
But it's pressure, and you know what's ahead of them, and you go, yeah.
But the good thing is you have somebody who's already been through it.
Yeah.
Right? The blueprint is already laid. If you follow the blueprint, the blueprint will get you there. Now, what you do when you get there, that's on you.
Yeah.
But the blueprint, the blueprint is laid for you to go and follow and throw your own little salt and pepper on there. But the blueprint and the line.
I know your son. I used to see Kai at the Knick game, and he was probably 5 years old.
Yeah, he should take your popcorn, man.
Yeah, exactly. He took my popcorn. He took my popcorn. Yeah, I was like this little kid, man. And he was so cute, and everyone loved him. He would go on the Jumbotron, and everyone would freak out. He was the best. And now he's one of the top players in his class. Yeah. And there's a rumor that he might be announcing his college decision next week on your show, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn.
Yes. I'm a little nervous, but yes.
So he's decided what he wants to do next.
He's deciding which college he wants to go to. He wants to attend. It's down to 2. It's down to Syracuse and USC. So we'll see. I was a fine line that I couldn't cross.
Yeah,
Due to my tie, due to something.
You got to let your kid do their
gotta
thing.
Let him do his thing, but it's been a fun process, man.
Yeah.
Like, just seeing him.
He's a
go through
good
it,
guy, man. He's
just a great kid.
He's a good kid and a good man. Yeah, I like this guy. I have to ask you this question because you were there. Dwayne Wade got a statue. I'm sorry. I have to ask this because you were there. I mean, that's an honor. And you honored. You go, oh my God, they got a statue. And you're there, and you saw it. And you saw it, and what was your face when you saw the statue? When you go, wow.
You know what? I went to the actual ceremony, so I didn't see it because I was sitting on the side. So by the time I got to the statue with so many people there, I got back to the hotel and somebody sent me the screenshot of it, and I was like, oh no, we had the wrong thing. This is not.
Let me just show you. This is the statue. This is Dwayne Wade. This is what it looks like. And you go. He's handled it very well, and he said, "I don't care what it looks like. The fact that there's a statue with me, I know what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to. I mean, I don't remember him
I think
ever.
he was caught up in the process. Like he loved the process of it and just forgot the outcome. He got one though.
He got one. He got a statue. Come on.
Too many. He's the first one down there.
But let's talk about this.
Okay.
We've talked about this in Paris. You got into wine.
Yeah.
Early on in your NBA career. Was anyone else into wine when you were playing?
It was people. It was kind of some older vets that was into wine. But you got to think in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, like wine wasn't a thing for the culture, right? So it was, you drinking other hard liquors and. I used to get laughed at and like, Ella, what you doing, man? You drinking wine? You too young to know wine. Like, we don't drink wine.
Yeah.
And now it goes from that, and I saw a great area, a great space that I wanted to attack. And I went into the industry, but I became a student first. I became someone who was going out there to get the knowledge and having the understanding of what's really happening in the industry and how can we really make this an affordable business and a scalable business. And that's the route that I took, man, my partner, Sonny.
And what did you bring tonight for me to try here?
It's a 2020 Ultra Fidelity Chateauneuf du Pape. This is our newest vintage out of the estate. And this is what most people ask me a lot of questions about it, but it's like what it tastes like, what it smells like, it's like just drink it.
Oh, really? You're like, stop talking about it and get to drinking. I didn't pour you a lot there.
No, it's all right. I understand the assignment.
All right, you're the best. Congratulations. I'm gonna have to say cheers. Chin chin. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about right there. Carmelo Anthony, everybody. Vin, the Seventh Estate, is available now at vin7estate.com. We'll be right back with David Gilmour, everybody.